Hey, Ajax, what's up with the lighting? It's very...
Red. It's red.
Yeah, you like that? That's the color of victory.
What?
Come on, anybody who's ever represented the color red has been victorious. Ferrari, Manchester United, Numbskull, Darcy from my bowling league.
Okay, but why is the trail red?
It's like a massacre just happened all over the place.
Well, it is the semifinals tonight.
What are you implying?
I think what Ajax is implying is that we gotta get this thing going.
And only 3 drivers are gonna survive tonight's purge. Tina's fired up, so let's see who she's picked to be first. The semifinals of the Chowhound Gaslands Open starts right now.
Ajax, we gotta talk about the fact that you're in a bowling league.
And with that, semifinal 1 is set. Tina has picked out our tournament leader, Shotgun Cowboy, and he's going to go up against Mr. Dark and Mr. Handy. Let's go up to the top of the hill for race 1 of semifinal number 1. Holy smokes! That's probably one of the biggest shunt crashes I've seen in this tournament. Shotgun Cowboy gets his tail caught on the jump, and his big balls flip him over. But what you don't see is in the background, Mr. Dark and Mr. Handy are going at it, and they run over a sign that they've dislodged from the course. Oh, Ajax is not going to be happy about that. We go to the overhead, and you can see the 2 back wheels of Shotgun Cowboy just catch that lip, and those big balls of his pull him up and over.
Oh, Cowboy, I'd be dizzy after that one as well. You're gonna have to do something to stop him from flopping, though.
And with 3 completely unforced errors, this group gets off to a very auspicious start.
Wow! Now we go from one of the craziest crashes to one of the closest finishes we've seen this tournament. Mr. Handy and Shotgun Cowboy come across the jump with Shotgun just out in front, but Mr. Handy finds another gear in the second half of the course to push it to the line. I don't know who won first in that race. Shotgun is clearly ahead by a bumper at the jump, and I don't know what happened to Mr. Dark, but when we go to the finish line camp, that is so close. The freeze frame is going to tell everything, so if we go back and we freeze frame it right about here, oh, that is so close, but it looks like Shotgun takes it.
Now that's the racing we expected to see out of these guys. Mr. Handy and Shotgun get themselves across the line, but Mr. Dark is slowly becoming a footnote in this race.
And if this race wasn't a carbon copy of the last race, I don't know what is. Shotgun and Mr. Handy, again, they are in lockstep coming down the course. They hit the jump, and then Mr. Dark just throws it all away. Mr. Dark just did not have an answer for these 2 today. As we go to the overhead, you can see again that Shotgun Cowboy is ahead by a bumper, and then he actually puts a little bit of a block in front of Mr. Handy at the line to ensure that he gets that extra point.
This semifinal showed that Shotgun Cowboy is not infallible. In fact, Mr. Handy put on such a good performance, he actually kept step with Shotgun and shows that he could actually probably hang with them should Mr. Handy miraculously make the finals. Don't get me wrong, the driver from Milestones Racing still has a pretty good lead, but he's not out of reach for some of the other drivers. And as we add the scores together from semifinal number 1 to round 2, there's a lot of work to do for the pack to catch our tournament leader.
as Mr. Dark surveys what's left of his flaming wrecked vehicle, semifinal number 2 has been chosen. We're looking at Raging Ricky versus Dutch versus Stray Dog. It's up to the top of the trail for semifinal number 2, race 1. Holy smokes. That was one of the craziest saves I think I've ever seen. This double barrel roll by Dutch is just nuts. He comes first across the jump. He gets squirrely all on his own, and I don't think anybody even touches him. What's amazing is that Raging Ricky literally drives around him, and Stray Dog, I don't even think he touches him, but Dutch then recovers and makes it across the line. I'm speechless. Dutch had such a strong top half of the course, and Raging Ricky comes away with the extra point because he comes across the line first, but I'm still in awe at the fact that Dutch even made it across the line at all.
This is the racing the semifinals are all about. Big time recoveries and big time scores.
And clearly Dutch had something to prove this lap as he just blisters the course once again. Except he keeps all 4 wheels underneath him this time and gets across the line first. The second half of the course you can see he just pulls away from Stray Dog, and Raging Ricky is just casually out for a Sunday drive on that right hand side of the course. The key element here is that every driver makes it across the line once again. That is another big score for each one of these drivers.
It's been a minute since we've seen big-time scores like this put up by every single driver. There's one more lap to go. Can we see an actual perfect group for once?
And I think Indy Rain actually jinxed it with posing that question, because everybody gets out of the gate nice and clean and gets down to the jump. And again, Dutch is out in front just by a bumper, but he and Stray Dog kind of get into it a little bit, and Stray Dog just gets into him enough that he noses into the berm. That unfortunately spells disaster for Dutch, allowing Stray Dog to actually get himself across the line. Raging Ricky had a scary moment there after the jump that you don't see on camera, but the tangle between Stray Dog and Dutch allow him to cross the line first.
This semifinal was ultra competitive. These drivers did not leave a whole lot of points left out on the trail, and aside from a slight bobble by Dutch, this group nearly took every single point that was available from a group standpoint. If this massive point haul doesn't put Shotgun Cowboy on notice, I don't know what will. Because his 94 looked unreachable until now, and with 3 drivers making a massive push for the finals, I don't know if anybody but Iron Poet is going to be able to catch them. And unfortunately, we will lose Mr. Handy and Mr. Dark, as their point totals are just not enough.
Duke must be asking Randy to sit this one out, as Iron Poet's up next. Tina wants to pick the last 3, so here we go for semifinals number 3. No real mystery here, as there was only 3 drivers left. However, there is only 1 driver in this group who realistically can catch the top 3. This group will determine who makes the finals. Let's go up to the top of the trail for semifinal number 3, race 1. Whoa, that was such a close call. I'd dive out of the way on that one. James Ironbeard comes out of the gate with a barnstormer mentality, while Variat and Iron Poet take each other out just after the jump. This is the Ironbeard that should have shown up to round 2, because he absolutely blitzes the bottom half of the course. He carries so much speed that he wildly flips into where Indy and I are standing at the finish line. And the overhead shows the moment that Iron Poet is taken out by Varian.
Talk about leaving it all out on the course there. James nearly made me spill my drink. Listen, I forgive you, James, but Walter doesn't. And yes, the yellow snow over there is what you think it is.
It definitely looks like James Ironbeard took his foot off the gas pedal in this race. Iron Poet gets a little squiggly, and James Ironbeard actually gets to the jump first in front of Variat, but Variat wiggles out and catches his rear end on the lip of the jump as well. James Ironbeard bounces back and forth, but Iron Poet actually gets across the line for 10 points as well. Competitors this season have sure struggled with the jump, even with the added benefit of the ramp. But it's those drivers that have able to navigate it who have come away with big points.
James Ironbeard is sure making a case for his push for the finals, but unfortunately I think with his round 2 scores, it's too little too late.
This was a much better idea watching the race from up here. Do you think he saw us? And if this wasn't an anticlimactic finish, I don't know what is. James Ironbeard hits the jump first again and just narrowly misses getting tagged by Iron Poet, who then throws himself to the wolves and the mercy of the jump at the top of the course. The unfortunate loser in this is James Ironbeard, as he, for whatever reason, decides to just dump it on its side after the jump. But you can see here, Iron Poet tries to do a parkour thing. He rights the ship, but it's a little too late, as his push for the finals is pretty much done.
I commend each and every driver for making it this far in this tournament. And as we stated in the opening round, every point is crucial to your overall score. And James Ironbeard made a big push for his, while Iron Poet just couldn't pull out that clutch performance he needed when it mattered most. We're going to add these scores to the big board, and you probably already know where I'm going with this. We're going to say goodbye to Iron Poet, Ironbeard, and Variat as their scores come up short.
Do you see what I see?
I do, 905. We've got 4 drivers vying for the top 3 spots.
So are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Well, if it involves a 4-way runoff for the finals, then yes.
In that case, let's congratulate our final 4.
Our tournament leader, Shotgun Cowboy, is going to go into the finals as the number 1 seed. With an incredible resilience and a penchant for the dramatic, our number 2 seed is Dutch. I had a feeling about this truck in round 1, and look where we're at. Stray Dog is your number 3 seed. And tied for that 3 seed, coming up clutch in the last race, it's Raging Ricky. You 4 are going to be battling it out next week in the epic 8-lap final.
Sure has been a while since we run 4 wide here at the trail.
I honestly couldn't think of a better way to end this, as Shotgun Cowboy is by no means out of reach for any of the drivers in the final.
I guess we'll just have to wait till next week to see.
I know I'm looking forward to it. I hope everybody else is too. Anyways, that's it for tonight. I've been your host, 905. You've been watching the Chowhound Gaslands Open. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.